into my main thing. Take this dick and you can stay. It's my year.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you guys basically how to have impact. In today's tutorial, I'll basically be showing you guys how to have impact on your Fortnite montage. I'm using the song Beasties by wrld, and without further ado, let's just get into it. Alright, to start things off, here's the basic clip we have to work with. So I already have it synced with sound effects just for the purpose of the tutorial. Sound effects sound kind of weird because the song is pretty bass right there, but there's nothing wrong with it. So the first thing we're gonna do is time remapping. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to click the layer, which this is the main layer that we're gonna be applying all the effects on. This is the video. I'm gonna press Ctrl Alt T to enable time remapping. I'm going to go to the point in the song where the beat drop is, so you can just put a marker there by pressing this button, and it'll put a marker wherever it is. So I'm gonna go to that point, and you want to sync it up with the first point of the shot. So if I look at the song, pretty much tell that this is where the beat drop is, and this is the first frame where there's a fire coming out of his gun. So yeah, that's what you want to sync up. So then you're just going to press this little diamond right here for time mapping, put a keyframe there. I'm going to go back to the point where the first frame where he pulls out his shotgun as well. So that should be right here. Press the diamond again for another keyframe, and then I'm simply just going to go to the beginning of the clip, press a keyframe, and the very end of the clip, and also put a keyframe. And now I'm going to easy ease these last three. I'm going to go to the graph editor, which is right here. Press that, and now it brings up this graph. If you do not have it and it looks like this, don't worry, just right click anywhere and just press edit value graph, and it should be there. I'm going to take this I'm going to press this point, I'm going to take this peg, and I'm going to drag it so that it is like a perfectly straight line right here. And then I am also going to go into this one, which is the area where the shotgun is pulling out in between these two keyframes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this up and this down so that there's a bit of flow to it, you know what I'm saying? So fast at the beginning and fast at the end, but slow in the middle, so it'll add some like impact. So right now it looks very bad because like there's no frame blending, and also the second half of the clip is screwed up. But after we do everything, it'll look very good. So yeah, that's really what you want. You just want it to be like, you just want to drag this up and this down. You don't want it to be too steep though, so like maybe something like that might be better. But yeah, and so I'm going to go to the second half of the clip now. I'll drag this up and basically do the exact same thing we did here, and drag this down, and this will create like the impact. This is like the impact you see in a lot of highlights editing videos. Like it's just like very fast at the beginning, and it just like kind of slow after. I save my project just in case, and now if we place back, I feel like this may be a bit too steep. You're never gonna get it first try. You kind of always have to mess around with it. Alright, so I got something that I liked, and I'm going to exit out of the graph editor by pressing that. Close this, and now I'm going to split it where the shotgun starts coming out. You don't always do this, but since this is the only part of this clip that is time remapping, I'm going to split it here. Control Shift D to do that. On this top layer right here, which is the second half of the clip, which we did all the time remapping to, I'm just going to double click this first box right there, and if you don't have it, then it most likely this is not clicked. So you're just going to go into the bottom left right here. It looks like there's like three little squares behind each other kind of. Click that, it'll show up, and then so you just double click this first box, and then bam. Now basically the computer will auto generate frames for you, and sometimes it may screw up if your footage is kind of wobbly or something, but for the most part it makes it very smooth right here. So if I place back, yeah, it's a lot smoother now. So like if we compare it without. Also, I forgot to mention the frame rate I'm using for this project. I'm using 24 FPS because that's like very cinematic. And so yeah, now let's go on to the effects. Alright, to start off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click right here into this open spot, press new, and I'm going to create a new adjustment layer. And I'm going to drag it right above this part of these two clips. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to search up in my effects. I'm going to start off with the shake. So I'm going to search up s_shake, and this will come up, and essentially what I'm going to do is I'll mess around with the settings until I find something I like.
A few moments later.
I found these things that I really like for it. You go 1 frame before the beat drop happens, and you're gonna keyframe the amplitude by pressing the stopwatch right here. And I'm gonna set the amplitude to 0. I'm going to go 1 frame to the right now by pressing page down if you have that on your keyboard. To where the beat drop happens, I'm going to set the amplitude to 0.918, and that's going to be like the impact. And then here's the settings. I'm going to have these on reflect, keep the frequency at 8. For X shake, I'll just have it at 0. For Y shake, I'll have this at 291 and this at 35. And for Z shake, I have it at 0, and tilt shake is also 0. So those are the shake settings. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames over. I'm gonna go 5 frames over, and then I'll set the amplitude to 0.449, and then I'm gonna go 8 frames over now, and I'm gonna set the amplitude to practically 0. And you don't need to do any keyframing on this. It already just looks good. It kind of eases out on its own, and it looks very clean. Without it, it looks like this. So yeah, very clean. You also want to make sure you have motion blur on, because that also helps a lot with like a motion blur effect like this. And so essentially now, what I'm going to do is, if you notice there's some black bars when it shakes, so all I'm going to do is on this adjustment layer, I'm going to go to my effects and presets, search up motion tile. Also, when I search in my effects, I just use this because it's easier for me. It's like a plugin that it's a free plugin. It's called FX Console by Video Copilot. I just like using this better. It's easier for me to just press Control Space and then yeah. But this is not an advertisement, so I'm just gonna shut up now. All right. So anyway, back to the motion tile. Because there's the black bars, all you're gonna do is you're just gonna put on motion tile and go from the bottom, just drag it to the top, press mirror edges, set output height to 120, output width to 120. You can make it higher if you have like a very intense shake, it depends. But as you can see now, black bars are gone and it looks like this. So yeah, very, very clean looking shake. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a twitch. This is like pretty optional since this shake is already very good, but Twitch is its own plugin, but it's a very good effect. I'll leave a timestamp on the screen if you do want to skip to the part in the video where we have already done the twitch. Alright, so as we've been doing with all the effects, I'm just gonna select the adjustment layer. I'm going to search up twitch, and I'm going to apply that on, and now I'm just going to mess with the settings till I find something like, and I'll show it to you guys. Alright, so I got some Twitch settings on right under the shake, and I got the amount at 30, and I got the speed at 50, and I have and for enable I just have slide on. Behavior, it's just this, and then operator controls for slide, it's all this. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the frame where he gets the kill and the beat drop and all that, so that's right here. I'm just going to keyframe the amounts at 30, and I'll keyframe the speed as well at 50. I'll go back 2 frames, and I'll set the amount to 0, and then I'm going to go over from this point. I'm gonna go 11 frames to right and set the amount back to 0, and now it should look like this with these keyframes. I don't know why I just keyframed all this stuff for no apparent reason. Now I'm gonna highlight these keyframes, and I'm going to easy ease them. And I'm just going to make it look like this. So I'm going to drag this one down like this. I'm going to drag this one over a lot like that, and maybe alright, so I like the way that this is looking. So yeah, this is the shape that I came up with. So it kind of like it's barely powerful right here. Like this is like the highest point of the twitch, and then I'll like go down like and just ease out, so it kind of looks like this. So yeah, with twitch and without twitch, this is without twitch. So yeah, pretty cool effect. Added also some more motion blur, which is always good for a shake because that just always looks clean. And now we're going to add a bit of brightness adjustments, so it's gonna be like kind of a flash. So yeah. Alright, so there's a couple ways to do brightness, but my personal favorite way is just exposure. So I'm going to create a new adjustment layer, and then I'm going to drag it under this adjustment layer. I'm going to call this one shake because that's what we put in that one. I'll call this one flash because that's basically what we're doing right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my effects, and I'm going to use exposure, and I'm just going to apply that to it. And now what we got is we got the exposure, so we can just make this brighter and less brighter and stuff. Essentially it's just a brightness meter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 2 frames before the beat drop happens, so that would be this frame. I'm going to keyframe the exposure. I'm going to go 2 frames over now. I'm going to set it all the way up to 2. Alright, I just went 20 frames over. I'm going to set the exposure to 0. And now we have these keyframes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight them, F9. And essentially I'm going to do almost the exact same thing we did with the Twitch. So I'm just going to have this go down, and I'm going to bring this over a little bit, and then bring this over. So it should look like this. Now we got a brightness flash. So yeah, that looks very clean. Essentially, the higher the line on the graph is, the more bright it's going to be. So right here it's max brightness, and it's kind of brightness, and then it really dies down right here quickly, and then it fades out kind of. So yeah, this is what it looks like. So yeah, it's a pretty cool effect that just looks good like pretty much no matter what. So yeah, let's go on to the next effect, which is going to be glow. Alright, to start off, I'm going to create a new adjustment layer once again, and I'm going to put it under everything, and I'm going to go onto it. I'm going to search up s_glow. I'm going to apply that. It's the software plugin. And so yeah, now everything was very bright, as you could tell. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the color to pretty much the vibe of the song, because like along with your color correction, whatever colors you use really determine like how good a montage is, because it sets the tone and the vibe. So for this song, it's Bee's Knees by Juice WRLD. I kind of feel like a yellowish orange might be good, so kind of like that probably. That looks good. It is, so yeah. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the brightness to 1.495, and I'm going to set the threshold to 0.1, and so yeah, this is what it should be looking like right now. And obviously that's way too bright. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the point in time where the shot happens, so that's this frame. I'm going to keyframe the brightness. I'm going to go 1 frame back and just set it completely to 0. And so now it's completely gone. I have a little bit on my color correction, but like that's not important. I'm going to press U on the adjustment layer so I can see the keyframes. I'm going to zoom in a bit actually, and then I'm going to go 16 frames to the right. I'm going to set the brightness back all the way down to 0. So now we have this glow. And now all we're going to do is we're just going to ease them, and we're going to do the same exact thing, maybe just not as steep this time, but essentially I'm just going to bring this out just a little bit so it fades out. This is the montage without glow. So yes, very clean looking, and now we're going to go on to the next effect, which is actually going to be a before the kill warp. So yeah, let's do that. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get a warp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click. So I'm going to create a new adjustment layer, and I'm going to drag it down as we did other ones. I'm going to drag it under the glow layer, and I'm going to name this one warp. And so what we're going to do on this one, we're going to do a warp effect, which is actually incredibly easy in effect. So it comes in After Effects, so it's very easy to learn. So I'm just going to search up warp, and I'm going to apply that. And if you cannot find it in the effects and presets tab, you're gonna have to remember you have to open a couple of the folders until you'll find it. I think you have to open transform folder or something like that. But what you want to do is when it first applies on, it's gonna look like this, and all you're gonna do is change the warp style from arc to fisheye, and boom, now you got this. And this is very similar to the pinch punch effect you see all the highlights editors doing. So essentially I could just drag this down and then as much as I want, and then it'll eventually just like get sucked in kind of. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to 1 frame before the kill happens. I'm going to set the bend all the way down to probably about 55. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keyframe the bend. I'm gonna go back some frames, probably like around when the pump starts pulling out. So I think like right here will be good, just a little before. Set the key, and I'm gonna keyframe it, the bend to 0. And now I'm gonna open this to see keyframes. And now you're gonna go 2 frames over, and you're gonna set the bend to 30. Now when it comes out like this, you're gonna go more frames, a couple more frames over. So I'm gonna go like about 5 over. I'm going to set this back to about negative like 10 or so. And then I'm going to go 5 more frames and set it to 0, and this adds a bit of bounciness to it when it comes back. And so at the moment, this is what it looks like. So yeah, it looks like that. It's not the best, so we're gonna keyframe it. We're gonna highlight all, press F9 to ease it, or if you need to, don't have F9, you can just press keyframe assistant, and then go to easy ease, and then I'm going to hide these, go into graph editor, and it should look like this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to drag this up to look like this, and then that's all we need to do for that first part. Now for the bounciness, all we're gonna do, so yeah, that's looking very cool right now, and there's a lot of impact on that, as you can tell. We're just going to do one more effect, so we're going to do some duotones. So now we're going to do is create new adjustment layer, drag this down. I'm going to name it duotone, and it is under all the other layers. And I'm going to go to my effects presets and just search up duotone, and it's a Sapphire plugin. And so what we're gonna do now is I'm going to go to where my warp started. So my warp started right here. So now I'm going to go to here. I'm going to set the mix with source all the way to 100, keyframe it. I'm going to go 1 frame before the kill, set it to 0. I'm going to go on the kill and set back to 100. And now it looks like this. And it should just be kind of like fading out a bit. I'm going to F9 to easy ease, and I'm going to drag this out a bit, and now it should look like this. So yeah, it looks very clean, and as the pump is pulling out, that's when it starts to get grayscale, and then boom, it comes back in and it is all back to full saturation and stuff. So yeah, that's all the effects we're gonna have, and this is what the final product looks like. Alright, anyway guys, thanks for watching the tutorial. I really appreciate it if you did watch to the end. It means a lot because I put a lot of time into these videos. And comment down below what you want me to do in my next tutorial. And leave a like and subscribe if you feel like it. I really don't care. I mean, if you enjoyed, I guess you can. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.
Just with a schoolgirl. Fool me once and fool me twice, you fuck up my whole world. Shame on me and blame on me, but baby, you my girl. Love for my brothers plus my motherfucking sisters. Bitch, I'm